I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. Owning 0.25 of a Bitcoin or 25 million sats is going to be a very, very, very big deal in the future. So I've been telling people here, and I think that this is a really good exercise for every single person to do right now, regardless of if you're in Bitcoin, how much Bitcoin you have. I think that this is a very beneficial exercise. So I'll show it on the spreadsheet here in a sec, but I want you to take a little screenshot of your net worth statement. So your assets, your liabilities. I want you to write this down. Take some time today, for real. Take a piece of paper, make a little line down the middle, put assets on one side and liabilities on the other. And you can see here, I think that this is a pretty good indication of what most people's net worth would look like approximately. I just used some standard assets, some standard values here, but let's take a look at this. This is very interesting to explore here. So you can see the house, about $400,000. So the assets, take an inventory of everything that you have. And you can see here, I even put the lawnmower on there and a MacBook. Anything that you could flip tomorrow and get cash for, you should put that on the left side of your net worth statement under your assets. And then on the right side, the associated amounts owing the debt on those, you can put on that side. And you should come up with the total of your assets and your total liabilities. So you got your house on the left, and then you got your mortgage on the right. Vehicle on the left, vehicle loan on the right. And then at the bottom, you should have your total net worth. And I think that as Bitcoiners, for some reason, we like to keep the Bitcoin and everything else kind of separate. But I think if you included Bitcoin in your personal net worth statement today, I think you'd feel a lot better about your financial situation. So what I'm going to explain here is that the price of Bitcoin in the last couple of days hit 100K. And I think that that's kind of where people are valuing it at today. But I don't think that that's the way we should be thinking about this. I think we should be thinking about this 10 years away and 20 years away, and then even further. So I'm going to show you kind of what's going to happen here in terms of our allocation here. You can see on the right side, if you want to get really cute with this, you can put what percentage out of your portfolio is that asset. So today with Bitcoin at 100K, for example, and you got 0.25 of a Bitcoin, that's based on this net worth statement. That's about 5% of your net worth. So you can see here, what we want to do is we want to explain that that's not really relevant. We want to be thinking about this thing in the future. So I used a 40% compound annual growth rate for Bitcoin, which I think is pretty conservative. I think for the last 10 years, it's been about 50, 60%. I think it could go higher than that, but that's kind of the average, a conservative amount. So you can see here at the end of 10 years, that 2.5 of a Bitcoin worth 2025 value of 25,000, lots of 25s there. In 10 years, at the same rate that it's been on, or a little bit lower than that, that Bitcoin is going to be worth $516,000. So I got an updated net worth statement with that. So I bumped up all the other assets kind of in line with what they've been doing, how they've been performing. So the house went from 400 to 500. The vehicle went down because vehicles are a depreciating asset. So are houses actually in a true market. Houses would also be depreciating asset, but that's besides the point. Stocks also up. Well, I think I doubled them. But look at Bitcoin here, 516,000. So you can see that Bitcoin went from 5% of your portfolio to 43% of your portfolio. You didn't add any Bitcoin. You just waited 10 years. You held on to that Bitcoin for 10 years. And you can see the mortgage is paid down a little bit now. You got rid of your vehicle loan after 10 years. Credit cards hopefully been paid off with your newfound wealth. Same with your line of credit, your student loan. And so you're sitting at a net worth now of just under $1 million. So that's after 10 years. And the point here is that this is how you should be thinking about your Bitcoin. To me, the fiat price of Bitcoin today is a complete illusion. They're lying to you. It's worth way, way, way more than that. But this is where it gets real crazy. So I went out 20 years for the second one here. So you can see here, 2034, we got 516. But this is the beauty and the magic of compounding. So you can see here, this amount didn't change. You still have 25 million sats, or 0.25 of a Bitcoin. But look at what that 0.25 of a Bitcoin is worth in 2044. $14.9 million in purchasing power. That's not in a world where a loaf of bread costs $2,000. This is based on today's purchasing power, $14.9 million worth. So look how much this changed. The house now, I boosted it up a little bit in fiat terms. Again, it's a depreciating asset, just like the vehicle, but to conform with reality here, I guess, for the next little while. But look at the house now, 4.4% of your portfolio. You didn't buy any more Bitcoin. You didn't do anything else. You just kept that 0.25 of a Bitcoin that you had. That Bitcoin is now worth 94% of your portfolio. And your total net worth now, you can see the mortgage has been paid down. Obviously, hopefully your liabilities are all gone as well. And you got a net worth now of $15.8 million just for holding on to that Bitcoin. So kind of the moral of the story for this is that you should not be paying any sort of attention to the fiat prices today. It is a complete illusion. It's a complete scam of a system. The fiat dollar, it's worth nothing. And as more and more people figure that out, as more and more green lights, the people who understand Bitcoin figure that out, the value and the purchasing power of that Bitcoin is going to continue to grow and compound over time. So I want you to be thinking about your Bitcoin, not in terms of what you see today in terms of the fiat price, but what that's going to be worth in 20 years from now. And so with that, you should be thinking, instead of looking at the prices, looking at projections, looking at hype videos, you should be taking your Bitcoin security very seriously. And what I mean by that is you don't have to go, regardless of where you're storing that 0.25 of a Bitcoin, just take action and go one step up. So if you have it on an exchange, take action and take it into a hot wallet. Download the Aqua wallet. I'm going to leave links in the comment here, in the pinned comment, but get the Aqua wallet. I think it's aqua.net. Move it off the exchange and into that wallet. Learn how to do it first. Spend some time. You're either going to have to spend some time or money to have somebody help you take that next step. If you have an Aqua wallet or a Moon wallet or any sort of wallet on your phone, get yourself a cold card. Get it off of the internet. Take it into self-custody, offline, into cold storage. If you have a cold card, get a couple more, put it into a multisig. And if you have a multisig already, look into something like Superbacked, which is, in my opinion, the best way to secure your Bitcoin by far. Just like Bitcoin, there really is no second best security. But the thing is here is you can't shortcut. You can't go from the exchange to a cold card. You can't go from a cold card to Superbacked. There's kind of stages to this. So it's exchange, hot wallet, cold wallet with a passphrase, multisig with Superbacked. That's kind of the natural progression of security here. And don't get overwhelmed. Don't think you have to move too fast here. That's probably the worst thing that you can do, actually. But wherever you are right now, take action and get a little bit more secure than it is today. Focus on what it's going to be worth in the future, not the fiat price that they're telling you today. You should be taking this stuff very seriously. And remember, there's about 65 million millionaires in the world right now in fiat. There's much less than 21 million Bitcoin actually available. So even if every millionaire wanted to get one Bitcoin today, they couldn't. Maybe, I'm thinking of 65 million millionaires, probably 10 million of them are going to get one Bitcoin, maybe. So do not underestimate what your Bitcoin is actually worth today. Never mind what they're telling you. That's, again, a complete illusion. So do the objective math here and think about this logically and secure that Bitcoin, because it is going to be worth more than you could ever imagine.